We got the 3 points. You know what that means. I promised my watch along. Until Arsenal win a game after the City loss, I won't change my Birmingham shirt. So without further ado, that's much better. But yes, Arsenal win 1-0 against Newcastle. We're going to go through a lot of things today. And I'll be honest with you, I don't feel like we've had a great performance. So you want to stay for this one because I'm going to talk about some key things that I noticed throughout this match. And is this going to actually take us across the line and win the Premier League? The game I felt like was very, very dry. I feel like if you watch paint dry on the wall, it would probably more be entertaining than this game here. This game showed me a lot of things. And one thing it showed me is that we still have not solved certain issues. This game reminded me of Arsenal beating Sporting Lisbon 1-0 at home. I understand it's about grinding results and 3 points is all that matters. But when you look at this performance, I don't think the Arsenal players are going into a dressing room fully confident that this was a game that they played really well in. I know that Arsenal have had their struggles in the last few weeks. They've had a lot of losses. They've dropped a lot of points. They're now behind City. Obviously, until City play their game, they're ahead. There are a lot of grey areas which Arsenal need to sort out. I mean, I'm just kind of like putting the pieces to this puzzle. And I was looking at the first minute of the match. The first minute of the match, you can see that Osula walked past the whole team. And it looked worrying. I thought we were actually going to concede because of the way he ran through. Luckily, it was a missed kick, but it just shows how much we switched off. Zubimendi, I don't think... Now, it could be it's his first season, I know, and I was singing his praises before, but looking at it, I don't think he's that midfielder that can take you over the line at the end of the season. Because I was looking at the midfield for Newcastle. Sandro Tonali is an absolute beast in that midfield. And I did mention in my pre-match prediction that him and Bruno Guimaraes, obviously Guimaraes has returned from injury, but Tonali can command that midfield. Tonali can shoot. Tonali kept up with Martinelli for pace. Zubimendi can't do that. Pace for Zubimendi is the kryptonite. I mean, when you look at the first half, you know, aside from the goal which Eze scored, and by the way, Eze, what a fantastic goal. We didn't create many chances. We looked like a team that was, again, scared to pass the ball forward. I mean, we did have the ball in the box. We're just dribbling. There's so many opportunities where players had the chance to shoot in the box, and we did not. And in the first half, there was no shots in the box, but there was one shot from Eze, which was the goal. When Eze scored, Newcastle had 6 attempts on goal from 8 shots. Arsenal just recorded 1 shot after Eze's goal. Now, don't tell me that's not concerning. That's not alarming. That is 100% alarming. And you have to think to yourself, with all that money spent, this should not be a team that we should struggle against as much as we did today. Newcastle have been on the down. I understand we've been on the down as well. But when you look at the performance and look at the numbers, it is very worrying. So at times, we look very nervous playing. And we're playing at home. We're playing against a Newcastle team which is doing pretty bad in the league themselves. They've lost the last 4 games. They've lost to Bournemouth, who we lost to. But it's still no excuse. I feel like if this same Arsenal team played away to this Newcastle team, I feel like we definitely would have lost. I feel like we're very unfortunate to not lose today. I mean, look at that pass by Walt Marder in the second half to Johan Wissa. Thank goodness that got skied, because that could have easily went back of the net. Now, I'm talking about my man of the match for one specific reason. Hincapié. Hincapié played phenomenal when it comes to tackling. He actually saved us. He made that last-ditch tackle, well, that interception, which Johan Wissa kind of got tangled up, went for a goal kick. But also, Elanga tried to burn him. He kept up, shrugged him off, and managed to retain the ball, and was clearing and was holding on for that 1-0 victory. So that is why I'm going to give Hincapié the man the match. I felt like with Dan Burn playing left back, I felt like Arsenal in the first half looked bright. But is that only because we haven't got a traditional left back playing there? Dan Burn, he's not the fastest player in the world. He's very tall. And obviously he's more suited to that centre-back role. And I felt like Madueke was still struggling. Madueke had an abysmal game. Touches were bad. And if you notice, when he knocks the ball, he knocks it at a distance where it's too far forward for him to retain his balance where he can't, shift left or right because he's knocked it so far forward. He kind of reminds me of a Walcott. Like, you expect your wingers to do close dribbling, but he does not believe in that. And I think Madueke struggled heavily in the second half, and that's why he was sub. Saka came on, looked quite bright considering he's been out for a bit. But, I mean, when you look at other players like Martin Odegaard as well, I mean, it's safe to say why we need him gone in this summer. Opportunity for Victor Gyökeres, where he was on the left. Martin Odegaard was just behind him, obviously, waiting for that through ball. But Odegaard decided to avoid passing to Victor Gyökeres and decided to pass back. Gary Neville, myself, and I'm sure all of you at home are looking at Odegaard like, why are you doing this on purpose? You have your striker one-on-one with a defender like on the line. All you got to do is through ball him. He can beat him for pace. He could shoot with his left foot. We've seen him score against Tottenham in that same position. Curled it around the keeper, but you chose not to pass to him. Why is the question? That's every number 10's dream, to have a through ball that you can just pass. All your striker has to do is lace it. But you chose to pass back. And this is why Odegaard, I believe, is holding the team back. Because I feel like if any other number 10 in the world, whether it's Bruno Fernandes, whether it's Florian Wirtz, would have played that through ball. Nowhere near. Think about passing back to my midfield or my centre-back in that position, especially on the counter. And I mean, I think I was going to be quite critical of Victor Gyökeres, but when I saw that, I was like, you know what? I actually feel sorry for this guy. And Victor Gyökeres' shot, after coming on for Havertz, which we'll go into in just a second, came in the 83rd minute. So Victor Gyökeres played a whole half and only managed one shot, which was in the 83rd minute. Those are worrying signs. You have a striker. Your number 10 does not want to feed this guy. Why is that happening? You can see Declan Rice frustrated. You can see him on the pitch. When he's crossing the ball in, nobody's on the end of it from the free kicks. He's asking the question why. We were fortunate today to walk away with the victory. I felt like I didn't have to call this game in my build-up. So for us to walk away with the victory, yes, I'm pleased. Of course, we want the 3 points, but there are a lot of worrying signs. Havertz and Eze both came off injured. What does that mean? I mean, it's obviously damaging. You want squad depth. And Havertz, I feel like he's played really well. Got an assist today. I like Havertz a lot. I feel like he definitely belongs in this Arsenal squad. I feel like other players need to be gone in the summer. I know there's been some talk of Havertz. Oh, he's not that player. He's not that guy. But I'll tell you what, when he's on the pitch, he makes a difference. He got an assist today. I don't think Gyökeres would have got an assist in that same position. Another thing that I noticed was the tactical approach for corners. Have you noticed that Arsenal did not do their traditional crossing in the box as frequently as they did in the previous games? All season, Arsenal did 6 short corners. And today, we saw 3 of those. And one of them resulted in a goal. So is this the beginning of a new tactical approach from corners by Arsenal? But again, you need a certain player on the end of that shot. And Eze's that guy. Eze has scored a few bangers this season. And this goes in that same category of bangers. So is this some beginning of something new? Because we saw him looking at the bench, giving them their props. And then we saw the cameras go on the coaches, the set-piece coaches. So is this something new? But yeah, I think Arsenal, very happy obviously with the 3 points. It wasn't their best performance. It's a very worrying performance. But again, you want the wins. Man City, they've beaten Southampton. They were losing 1-0. I felt like they were probably going to crash out, but they've won. They've done what they needed to do to push over the line. So yeah, we're going to see how this is going to end. Obviously, we know City still got to play their game. What can happen? Can they lose or draw? We can only hope. But Arsenal needs to keep playing good football as much as they can. Get the 3 points because that's what's going to get you into that Premier League Champions bracket. That's what you want. But yeah, I just want to thank everybody for tuning in. If you haven't already, make sure you like, comment, share, and subscribe. If you want to see my match prediction for this Newcastle versus Arsenal game, make sure you hit the video link at the end of this. And let me know your thoughts in the comments below. What do you think about the game today? Do you think Arsenal can get over the line? Yes or no? Make sure you let me know.